Blockchain Diversity назвали мы этот блок. Это панельная дискуссия вместе с ребятами, которых вы уже можете видеть здесь. Собственно, впервые в Украине это новый формат представления проектов, идей и путей развития того, что будет происходить, потому что перед вами будет находиться 5 успешных блокчейн-стартапов, которые непосредственно сейчас находятся в проектах известного европейского ICO акселератора, и они достаточно разные по направлениям, но у них единое блокчейн-решение. Поэтому, когда вы сейчас будете задавать им вопросы, они вроде как разные, но их объединяет нечто общее. И поэтому они уже сегодня знают, как будет выглядеть будущее. Я по-прежнему приглашаю на эту сцену моего любимого друга, который уже все утро тут с нами проводит. Еник Долс, welcome. Значит, President JCI Zuid Limburg. Then we go, guys, with the CEO-based global, Tristan Littlejohn. Welcome. Then we're moving to the CEO and founder Topple, Chris Jordan. Have a seat, please. Moving on. Руководитель партнерства ВРЭО, Малышев Егор. And also, we would like to welcome here at the stage CEO-based global Benjamin Bendant. И у меня есть еще информация по поводу того, что один спикер задерживается. Если это случится, то это будет CEO and Founder Brainsights Case Ongoing, но он где-то на пути, и если вдруг кто-то появится на этом стульчике, то знайте. Guys, I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Nika.
I believe in you. I know you're the best of the best.
So, Maximilian already made an introduction, and great word what Iconiq Labs is doing, because myself involved in starting the first blockchain incubator, which is before this phase, and I know it's very hard to build something in such a phase that is such an early stage and such in development, but it's really important. And even though they all have something in common, everybody is sitting here because we are all working in the blockchain space, a lot is very also diverse. So I want to start basically one by one to let the startups really tell what they're working on. And then we can see watch how many different and diverse industries they're in. So kick it up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tristan Littlejohn. I'm the CEO of Base Global. We're working to decentralize ticketing, and so we want to take tickets and put them on the blockchain to make it fair for fans so that people don't feel ripped off. When tickets go on sale on the primary market, they're generally sold out in a few minutes, and they go on the secondary market, which generates over $10 billion in revenue per year. And this isn't money going to protect fans or to make better shows or to improve venues. This is going to an industry that is there to purely make profit, and we're using the blockchain to change that. We're putting the artists in control of their tickets, so it's fair and transparent for fans, and it protects us.
Thank you, Tristan. Now up to Chris.
Hey, my name's Chris Georgian. I'm a mathematician who found his way into the blockchain space, and what we are doing is we're building out a blockchain specifically to connect investors with businesses and projects in developing countries, making it easier, more transparent for investors to find those sustainable but also very high-yield investments. Because right now that space, there's a lot of fraud, excessive costs, and it's really a perfect opportunity to have the blockchain step in as an intermediary to really unlock that investment and make it more efficient. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you, Chris. Jacob.
Добрый день, Kyiv. But we'll switch to English. So I'm Yegor Malyshev from Rio, and we are introducing a new way to present, monetize, and measure ads in an in-game environment, so actually in games. At the moment, usually they are only seen by pop-ups. It's an intrusive and immersive breaking advertisement. And we're introducing an additional way to implement the advertisement into the surroundings. So actually, when you pass by in a software, you can see an ad that belongs there. And by the blockchain, we are eliminating ad fraud due to security, transparency, and speed. Thank you.
So then we have Benjamin, also from Blaze Global. Can you tell a little bit more to add to Tristan what you're working on and why you're passionate about it?
Sure. So hi, I'm Benjamin. I'm the CTO and also co-founder of Base Global, together with Tristan and another one who is not here today. And as Tristan mentioned, we aim to redefine ticketing and also what a ticket itself is by turning tickets into a smart contract, putting it on the blockchain, and thereby have, as he mentioned, have complete control over the whole ticket life cycle. And there's no more scalping. And yeah, you can, as the seller, just tell the ticket how to behave, and it will behave exactly like that.
Okay, changing behavior. Now, Maximilian, we just saw all the diverse industries just coming by. How is it to unite them in one accelerator?
I think that's one of the biggest gifts actually that you can have, because I would find it very boring if I would just work with financial companies or only with artists or only, I want this diversity. And I think blockchain is really a technology which can make the world better. And it doesn't matter because we get rip-off of intermediaries, we create transparency and sustainability. So I think it's just great to have this kind of diversity. And at the end of the day, what I can certainly say, they all have amazing products and are good people behind. They really want to make the world better, and that's what I love.
So again, diverse application, diverse industries, united under one umbrella within the accelerator of Iconiq Labs. If we look geographically, where is everybody from?
So I'm from America, from New Jersey, but I've been living in Berlin for about 10 to 12 years, and our company is based in Berlin. One of our founders is also in London as well, which is quite cool.
We are an American, South African founding team currently, and we've already spread out. We've got an office in Texas, and we've got another office actually with Iconiq and Brightlands over in the Netherlands, so we're diverse even inside of Topple.
Well, I'm from Belarus, Minsk, but I live for 15 till 16 years in Germany already. Our team is very, very diverse. Our CEO is a German guy. We also have, Germany. Always presenting. But we are very, very intercultural. And we are a European-based startup with multiple companies that are working in Europe.
Yeah, I am from Berlin in Germany, and our third co-founder lives in London, is also from the States, and I have to say I love my Ukrainian developers, they're excellent.
And I would just speak for the other two startups. So Wunder is from Belgium and Brain Cities is from France. And maybe funny about Iconiq Lab, I mean, we launched a German company, but I'm the only German-speaking guy there, even though we are 6 co-founders. And you know what that led to? That I have to deal with the legal stuff.
So this is also why I'm so passionate also about the blockchain space, is that it unites people from all around the world. And I just came back from Moscow, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you are within this blockchain community, you always connect, you always find people that you can have fun with, that you don't even have to share their IDs, but they are listening and talking to it. And I think it's very important also geopolitically, if you see all the diversification there, to unite people and to see that we're all human. So that's thank you, blockchain community. Thank you, everybody. Now I want to ask one question, is what is the biggest challenge about the development of your startup? You have got the support of Iconiq Lab, which they provide you with all the network and all the guidance that you need. What was for you the biggest challenge in your road until the development now?
So for us, we're in a very interesting industry. When you talk about the music industry or concerts, live events, festivals, sporting events, there's currently a lot of different gatekeepers. One of the things that we all believe in with the blockchain is that we can disintermediate these industries and take out the middlemen. But to be fair, they have a lot of power and a lot of legacy systems are in place to protect them. I think that's a challenge probably for a lot of industries.
For us, the biggest problem that we've run into are actually technical problems. So, as a startup, you can run into business problems or technical problems. We've had great success so far with business development, sourcing projects, sourcing investment, sourcing investors, getting the partnerships we need with governments, the UN, the World Bank, things like that. But we've been struggling a lot in really developing our technology because we're one of the projects that isn't built on top of Ethereum or something like that. We're actually developing our own blockchain. So there's a lot of technical challenges in that, but the progress we've made, it's really rewarding, and we think at the end of the day, it's worth all those extra challenges that we've been going through. So definitely technical issues, building your own blockchain, it's not an easy process.
Well, for us, it was at the start also some technical issues. However, in this case, we were actually also working with Ukraine developers, and we managed to fix it and to bring it up. So, but still, for sure, technically, it's always an issue. However, the whole message transportation of the in-game advertising is, at first, at start, very negatively, because we are striving to consolidate gamers, developers and advertisers or brands together, and gamers are always like in panic. Okay, we have pop-ups, it's intrusive, we don't like it, in-game advertising, oh, whoa, whoa. But after you explain it, after you show them what we mean by embedded advertising, they are like absolutely, oh great, that's a great project, that's right, this is how we wanted to have. And for us was the communication, because we are ourselves gamers, and we are doing it also for the gamers and for the whole in-game advertising industry. So for us it was an issue like, to communicate it properly.
Я следующий через...
So for me, I have a similar problem as Max has, which is I am the co-founder of a German company, but I'm also the only guy of the founders who speaks German. So I end up with a lot of paperwork and legal, which is not quite what I signed up for. And I think a bit more general, most people that are involved in crypto, and certainly everyone who's doing an ICO, has problems or at least some worries regarding regulation. We, for example, will also go into the USA and try to sell there. But, I mean, who knows? We do everything right. Maybe in 2 years, the SEC comes knocking at our door anyway. So, yeah, legislation that is just not there yet. I think that's one of the big problems in this space.
Yeah, the good thing for us is they are doing the tech, we don't. Yeah? So we are not facing those issues. But no, but actually, since we are like a financial service provider in this space, more or less, regulation has been a nightmare. Yeah? But on the other hand, you have to be open to it, because it's a steadily changing field, and you have to adjust to it. And I mean, at least now we will be the first regulated German ICO, and I think so it was worth the, all the months of talking that we had.
Great to hear. Just talking about ICOs, of course we saw a lot coming by. I believe there was quite a madness around it, a lot of cowboys and so on. How do you look upon the current ICO state, and how do you look to the future of the state?
So for me, the current ICO state seems positive. I think last year was the year of ICO craze. You could literally ICO a chair and get $20 million for it, and it would be fantastic. I think people are catching on now, and I think there's a lot more due diligence happening, a lot more background checks, a lot more sort of people protecting their assets more. I think people are developing cool projects now, and I think that they are thinking towards the future and saying, where do we want to be? I think traditionally in the startup industry, 90% of them fail anyway. So I think a lot of these things will be consolidated in the future. So we'll have 5 or 6 startups now that do the same thing. Then 1 or 2 years later, they'll all be consolidated into the same industry. From what I've seen, the blockchain community is very open and inclusive. And so when you have these companies starting to consolidate, I think there's a huge opportunity for a lot of us to work together in the future and sort of not go out of business like traditional startups, but sort of combine our powers to still take on the industries that we initially set out to conquer.
Oh, happy to hear cooperation. I love it.
Just because it's fun, I'm going to disagree with Tristan a little bit over here. Yes, a bit of the craze is winding down. You know, things aren't as crazy as they were last year, but I kind of think there still needs to be more, close examination. As someone going through the ICO process, I think I want people to ask me more questions. I want people to be more critical because it means people are actually really digging into the industry, really looking at this is a proper use case, this is an improper use case. I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, but over the next few years especially, I think we'll see, you know, a proliferation of groups like Iconiq that are really sourcing some of these best deals, and because there is a lot of scrutiny that should go into it because, you know, some of us are raising a good amount of money. So be critical when you're looking at these projects. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. I can just join right here in because the situation now and also last year was many companies are throwing ICOs with a white paper of 10 pages, 15 pages, a small presentation, no MVP, nothing there, and just some marketing budget, and then they are telling us, okay, in 5 years we will shape the future, we will change everything, and there's absolutely no data to back anything up. So we like that more regulations are coming in. You see also Facebook and Google banning ads, Twitter thinking about it. So there will be more whitelisting projects. There will be less scam and fraud, and that's great for this industry. Due to businesses that like evolve out of Iconiq or all of ours with MVPs and actually good white papers, long white papers, and actually business cases that make sense in the real world, and blockchain is an addition that improves them even more.
So yeah, I think the status quo was pretty well described by now. I'm also certainly looking forward to the future when legislation will just be done worldwide, when ICOs are just as common as IPOs, as raising money with angel investors or classical venture capital. That's what I'm looking forward to. Also, I'm pretty sure that ICOs will move way beyond the crypto space. So currently, basically, you do an ICO because you do something crypto, right? I think ICOs in general are a great way to raise money, even for completely non-crypto projects. And I'm pretty sure in the future, this is where things will go, so that ICOs will just become maybe even the way for startups of all kinds to raise money, right next to VC, angels, and other options to raise.
You learned a lot? No, really good answers. Actually, there's nothing to add. So I think we will see less ICOs in the future, but the ICOs you will see will have a higher quality. You will definitely see more regulation coming in. You will see KYC and AML coming really, really important. And you will see certain service provider that will ensure the quality of ICOs.
Yeah, I believe to summarize it, everybody from a different view, but if you unite it, it's a new model, so in the beginning it fails. That's what innovation is about failing, learning, and going forward. On the other hand, what I like is to see a new mechanism, because there has never been raised so much money for open source projects. And that is where I'm getting really excited about. But I also believe there is maybe a misconception sometimes with a lot of, let's say, ICO or let's say blockchain startups, is they're going to create a protocol or an application where they make the intermediary obsolete, but they are focusing too much from a business perspective. Well, most of the time how I see it, if you're going to create a decentralized protocol, you're generating something to hand it over to the community. What is the view as blockchain startup upon that?
I think it's important to focus on the business as well. I mean, like at the end of the day, you want to create value for everybody in the ecosystem, right? So I think that we don't have to do business how we've done it before. We can sort of create and come up with new business models for the future. What they look like right now, I think we're at the beginning of it, and we'll just see where we go as a space. Yeah, I think there's the tech side of it, and I think there's the open source side and the community side, which is fantastic. But I also think that you still need the business side to really sort of drive value and innovate.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I think this goes to what Max was saying a little bit in the sense that we're going to see ICOs for very different things. We're going to see ICOs where we are looking at essentially ICOing a business, but I think we'll also see a lot more ICOs of things like protocols and applications. And then in that case, Unique, I completely agree with you. If it's not open source, if it's not something that, you know, has a path to open up, I think that would be a serious question mark, especially in the case of protocols, because protocols inherently, they're very important things. You know, when you build a protocol, it's an infrastructure, and communities are a great way to manage that and make them very robust. So I would say, if you're looking at applications, and especially if you're looking at protocols, if it's not open source, I'd have some big questions about it.
Yeah, so the part with the community is absolutely right. For this reason, we are trying to get gamers more involved in the whole advertising industry, because like they fuel the whole economy. They are their consumers for the advertisers, they are the target audience, they are the target audience for the developers because they're actually buying their games and supporting them. But the participation is really on a low level. Considering the protocols, sure, we are also striving to get scalability and throughput unite, and we are monitoring closely projects, big projects like EOS and Cardano, with who we are in the talks, just to ensure also the regulatories are there, because we are operating worldwide and it's pretty hard to make everything conform, but yeah.
So I don't think necessarily that it is either make some money and be profitable or hand it over to the community. That's not mutually exclusive at all, quite the opposite. That's one of the upsides and advantages that this new technology can give us, that we can have mutually beneficial relationships between all the participants, or let's call them customers maybe, and the business, so that basically everybody can profit from that. And I mean, the business has to profit as well, right? I have to eat, I have to pay rent and stuff, so I can't take no money. But that's really the beauty. It's not that centralized, that the upsides are just shared in the whole community. That's the beauty of it. I think everybody wins, basically. It's a win-win-win situation, or can be if done right.
I would really differentiate between applications on the blockchain and infrastructures themselves. Infrastructures, great projects, protocols, they have to be open source, and I think they should be non-for-profit. But on the other hand, they have to finance, they have to be sustainable. So of course they have to somehow find a way, if it's from the user side or whatsoever, to monetize themselves. Applications, I think, are different. Applications are businesses very often. And I think applications should monetize themselves. That's even their responsibility towards an investor. Because why should I invest something which is just burning money?
You're great. Max, can you keep the mic?
Yeah.
Because, we're here with 5 startups that are in the first accelerator of Iconiq Lab. Because there is so much to choose from within the projects that are out there, you guys chose to really go for quality. What I like to hear is everybody has a working MVP, so it's not just a white paper. What is it that you came across during the selection? You mentioned you had an X number of startups that you did due diligence on. What were your biggest findings in, because it gives a lot of, you can tell probably a lot about the current state of the industry by seeing so many of these startups pass by.
Really good questions, and a question that appears quite often, but what can I say? Out of the 165, I would say 30 were maybe completely scams and unnecessary, not even worth having a look at, even though I still had a look at it because I felt it's my responsibility, but it wasn't worth it. Then I would say then there are the next 50 where I say, good business model, I get it, but why the hell do you need a blockchain? And then you had the very few projects where I thought, okay, blockchain makes sense, but your token model brings no value to your ecosystem. Why don't you go with another investing scheme? And I think then you are maybe at, let's say 60 projects you're having an in-depth conversation with, or look in depth onto. And and from those, I think the biggest findings were they are from all industries, they are from all countries. I would say at the moment I see maybe slightly better ideas from the countries that are less developed. Because I think it is just those days, I think in Germany the African Economic Association or something like that said, yeah, it's clear that actually in those countries you have better ideas because you can feel the pain. And I think that's a good point. I think like if you go to Africa or to Southeast Asia or wherever, the ideas are often way better because they don't think about the banking system like it exists at the moment, for example. They just think, why don't I send you money peer-to-peer? It's like much more native to them, and that's why I think they have, on average, the better ideas. But also on average, less responsibility, I would say, towards legal compliance. Because they are just used that in those countries you don't have to deal with regulation that much as you do in Germany. So I think combining these two worlds, getting the best ideas from those countries and then legally structuring them, for example, in Germany, is actually the best way to move forward.
Thank you. Yeah, what you also talked about is indeed the token structure that most time it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Of course, the token mechanism design combined with the crypto economics is quite a new field. And it's all about creating new incentives. I want to ask the startups, how do you look upon your own token design and why does it work? And share a little bit with the audience why your token is the one they should buy.
So for us, it's quite interesting because we are working with experiences, right? So we kind of see it as a tokenized experience economy where if you sort of interact with an artist or a sports team or something of this nature, then what we're talking about is your involvement with them and your engagement, and you should be incentivized for that. They shouldn't just have your attention just because you love them. Like, I feel like that when I spend so many hours contributing to your career or to the success of your team or whatever, that I should get something back for that. And so I think when we start to tokenize these experiences and start to say, like, listen, I'm giving you my attention, you give me a little kickback, and I can keep promoting you. I'm becoming a part of your community. I'm becoming an organic brand ambassador. And this way we can sort of push their careers forward while also getting incentives ourselves.
So when I was back at university, I spent a lot of time studying economics, so I absolutely love questions like this, and it's something we spend a lot of time on. In my view, there are really two ways to look at buying a token. One is I can buy a token and I can either use it to access some sort of service, and that's useful to me, and then if I'm buying it as an investor, I'm waiting for it to appreciate in value. And on the other side, there's actually tokens where simply by holding it, simply by using it, it actually generates a revenue stream for you. Staking tokens are a great example of this. So on a proof of stake system, simply by providing work to the network, using those tokens, it's a great way to actually earn income, even if the price of the token never goes up. So then you're holding it over the long term. You're not necessarily, looking to trade it, looking to dump it. And we're much more fans of the latter model, and that's what our token is. It's a staking token that, as long as our platform is doing well, it doesn't matter what the price is, it doesn't matter what the markets say, because you're earning revenue simply because you're contributing to our network with our tokens.
We make use of a dual token model because we have a business between advertisers and developers, and they are not yet ready to speculate on volatility. They need predictability and they need stability. For this reason, we use the mechanics of a stable coin. That is a view coin, and it's, the value doesn't change and it's not traded on secondary market. The other token is an ERC20 token, merit coin. The MTC can be locked up in our smart contract to grant utilities, for example, like voting rights for the gamers, so they can participate in the whole process of the economy. But also reduction of transaction fees and so on, like increased storage space. So mutual benefit.
I will just add a little bit onto what Tristan already said. On our platform, every transaction of value will be done in token, not necessarily visibly so. That means if your mom, for example, if your mother wants to buy a ticket, she doesn't need to do any crypto or so because she might not want to. So we will also be able to just handle fiat payments via instant conversion under the hood. But under the hood, at least everything's done in token. And yeah, you can, of course, have the whole rewards and incentive system. And for example, you can also do stuff like just put tokens up there and others can add on. And if it's enough, then you get an artist into your city or something like that, for example. And again, as is quite common, I guess, if you pay directly with token instead of with cash or fiat, then we're going to be a bit nicer to you than to the others, I guess.
For me personally, the most important question when we talk about tokenomics is actually how do you create intrinsic value without it being a security like a share or a bond or something around those lines. And maybe to talk about our token and how we were able to create intrinsic value even though we're a utility instrument. I think that's very interesting. So let's imagine here Freo is issuing their token for €2 tomorrow and Base Global for €1 and Topple for €3. Only by holding our token, you are allowed to invest into their token for €1.80, here for 70 cents, and there for €2.50, for example. So with holding our token, you will always get the biggest discount on those ICOs. So if you are a big fan of those ICOs and want to be an early mover, that's why so many institutional investors are invested into us, you have to hold our token.
So now I want you all to ask to share, because I know there is a big audience of people that are looking for great projects to invest in. How do they find you, and when does the token sale start?
Base Global, we're at baseglobal.com. We're at t.me/baseglobalchat for Telegram. We are starting our private pre-sale through Iconiq at the end of May. We look forward to you reimagining the event ticketing experience with us.
You can find more out about Topple at topple.co, T-O-P-L. Where our pre-sale goes on late May, early June. So if you have any questions, we've got Telegram, we've got a blog, all those resources available on our website. Happy to talk to you.
Well, yeah, for sure. Today, we are staying the whole day here, so come talk to us. I personally speak Russian, German, and English, so we will have no boundaries.
Show off.
A little bit must. Sometimes I must. However, you can also find us on the web with ico.freo.io, but also in our Telegram group is Freo ICO. And well, the sale dates announcement will be announced soon, but rather sooner than later, believe me.
Yeah, as was said, baseglobal.com is the website. The Telegram is baseglobal_chat. And absolutely, just come up to us, talk with us today if you'd like to. I personally speak German and English. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah, for us, visit our site token.iconiqlab.com. Our sale starts in 6 days, and you will find information about all these beautiful projects. You will find the Telegram channels in our page. And another recommendation I can do, if you really want to find out what those guys are building at the moment, come join us at the second stage now after this hour, and there you will really see what those companies are developing at the moment.
So, want to hear more? Follow them upstairs in a little bit.
Great, guys. Thank you so much. Give it up for everyone. Thank you for your dedication, and thank you for sharing with us your experience, your emotions, and what are you doing in your life. And yes, feel free to free the stage. Once again, Tristan Littlejohn, SEO-based Global, Chris Jordan, SEO and founder Topple, Malyshev Yegor, руководитель партнерства Vreo, Benjamin Bendon, SEO-based Global, Yannick Dols, President JCI, Ziet Limburg, and of course, Maximilian Lautenschläger. Whew.